As the conflict escalates, some Arab governments are now being accused of quietly betraying Iran behind closed doors. While Arab leaders continue to publicly call for peace, de-escalation, and diplomacy, critics claim that in private they are encouraging Washington to keep up the pressure. As Iranian strikes hit Gulf states and disrupt vital oil infrastructure, triggering shutdowns and production halts, panic is reportedly spreading through Arab capitals over the threat to their economies and energy lifelines. Tehran, for its part, argues that it is justified in targeting sites on Arab soil, insisting these locations are being used to support or enable a potential U.S. invasion. Arab states surrounding the Persian Gulf are now reportedly urging the United States behind the scenes to step up its military campaign against Iran, calling for an even more aggressive push as the war drags on. According to these accounts, several Arab leaders are privately telling Washington to finish the job against Tehran, even as Iran continues to strike back and widen the battlefield across the region. These secret Arab appeals to the U.S. were first reported by an international news agency and later highlighted by Iran-focused media on March 17, exposing a stark contrast with public calls for de-escalation. Behind their public rhetoric, Arab governments are said to fear that even after the current war ends, Iran could still threaten the region's vital oil lifeline and energy corridors, keeping them perpetually vulnerable. At the same time, sources suggest that Washington is pressing Gulf nations to take a more visible role in the conflict, urging them to formally join or support the ongoing war effort against Iran. Observers say President Trump appears keen to showcase broad regional backing, using Arab support to bolster the political legitimacy of the war both at home in the United States and on the global stage. The chairman of the Saudi-based Gulf Research Center said, quote, "There is a wide feeling across the Gulf that Iran has crossed every red line with every Gulf country. At first we defended them and opposed the war. But once they began directing strikes at us, they became an enemy. There is no other way to classify them." Unquote. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has lashed out at key Western allies, accusing them of ingratitude and failing to do their part as the crisis over Iran and Gulf security deepens. Several allied nations have pushed back against Trump's calls, rebuffing his demand to deploy their own warships to the tense and heavily militarized Strait of Hormuz. Trump had sought to build an international coalition tasked with escorting commercial oil tankers safely through the strait, framing it as a shared security mission for all energy-dependent states. He argued that any country relying on oil shipments from the Gulf bears a responsibility to help protect the Strait of Hormuz, insisting the burden should not fall on the United States alone. U.S. and Israeli forces launched a joint war against Iran on February 28, in a dramatic operation that culminated in the killing of Iran's supreme leader and triggered a massive regional backlash. Since that moment, Iran has been hitting back hard, targeting Israel, U.S. military bases and embassies, as well as Washington's Arab allies across the Middle East in a widening campaign of retaliation. Tehran's forces have struck airports, ports, vital oil facilities, and major commercial hubs across the Gulf, aiming to disrupt economic activity and send a clear signal about the cost of war. Iran has also moved to blockade the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point that handles around 1/5 of global energy trade, pushing the world's oil lifeline into unprecedented danger. These attacks have only reinforced deep-seated Arab fears that Iran can hold regional and global energy flows hostage whenever tensions flare, leaving their economies and security at constant risk.